Hi guys, it's Adrienne. Welcome back to my channel. Today's Wednesday and I'm not here to bring you a Top 5 Wednesday video. Well, how about that? Today I'm here to bring you my April wrap up. The reason I'm not doing a Top 5 Wednesday video today is because I have so many videos that I need to get done for the month of May that I just don't have time for a Top 5 Wednesday video every week. So I'm plopping some other videos in between. You don't mind, do you? Let's start off by talking about my April TBR as usual. Out of my 5 books that I had on my April TBR, I only read 1. I'm so terrible this month. Especially after March when I read 10.5 books. This month wasn't so fantastic. So in total, I read 2 whole books and 2 half books. Not my best month ever, but considering, it wasn't so bad. I had a really busy month in the month of April, and I also was really sick the last 2 weeks of April. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know that. So I wasn't quite in the mood for reading. So the books that I did read, I'm pretty proud of. It's not as bad as it could have been. The first book that I finished in the month of April was the second half of Mistborn. I started this one in the month of March, and it was really good. It was so difficult to get into at first because the magic system is kind of complex. Not complex in the fact that you can't follow it, but just there's a lot to know about. So it started off really slow. I died at the end a little bit. It was fantastic. I gave it a 5 stars and I cannot wait to pick up the second one. It will take me a little while though because this book was long and it did take me 3 weeks to finish. Next up, during the Easter weekend, I read Iscariot by Tosca Lee. This book I gave a 4-star rating to. I really enjoyed this book. This talks about the man Judas who betrayed Jesus. At the time of the crucifixion, he was one of Jesus's 12 disciples, and he betrayed Jesus with a kiss. And it talked about why he did this. In the Bible, he is called the friend of Jesus, and he's one of the only disciples that is called the friend of Jesus. I know there's another one that's called the one Jesus loved, but he's the only one that's called friend. So it talked about their friendship, and it talked about why he decided to do this, and it made it make so much sense. What I also really loved about this book is that it really talked about Jesus' love, and I saw so much pure compassion for people. My one issue with the book though was that it seemed really disjointed. Now, the Bible is the same way for those of you who have read the Bible. If you haven't, I recommend you do. But the Bible also jumps from story to story, so this book kind of does that as well. After I finished reading this, I actually heard that this book was supposed to be like twice as long, and she ended up cutting a lot, which kind of makes sense when you consider the choppiness of the book. It does seem like there's pieces missing, but all in all, I give this a 4-star rating. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to reading more by Tosca Lee. After reading Mistborn and Iscariot, which were both really kind of heavy topics, I needed just something that was fast-paced and easygoing and interesting, so I decided to pick up Illuminae. I've been putting this off for so long because I'm not really a big sci-fi fan, but this book was so good. It really did live up to the hype. I so enjoyed this book. I gave it a 5 stars. There were a few things about this book that kind of made me iffy. One of the things that I didn't quite enjoy about this book was that at the end of the book, it was only told through one source, because this book is told through various data files and means of information, and the end of the book was told mostly through one, but because of the way the story went, that needed to happen, so I couldn't take anything off of the book. It was just my own personal preference. I would have liked to see other little data inputs throughout the book rather than just one particular source. I am very excited to read Gemina. It is now on my wish list because this one was absolutely fantastic. And lastly, I have started but have not yet finished Bad Little Things by Mary-Jae O'Reilly. This is a adult fiction book about a murder mystery. There were 2 children who have been abducted 15 years ago, and 15 years later one of the women who was convicted as an accomplice to murder has been set free, and it kind of goes through this whole unpacking of what actually happened 15 years ago. I am enjoying this book. It is really slow. It's supposed to be a thriller, and I'm not finding it entirely thrilling. So it's been kind of slow going. I've been at this book for about a week, and I'm only 180 pages in. So I'll let you know in my May wrap up on what I actually think about this book. Alright guys, that wraps it up for all the books that I've read in the month of April. I'm curious to know which books you've read in the month of April, so leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and as usual, if you haven't yet subscribed and you've just been kind of visiting my channel, I'd love it if you subscribe so we can chat more often and so you can be part of my little bookish community here. Thanks for watching guys, and see you next time. Bye!